Hello again, film fans. My name is Scott, and I am doing the Thursday reviews here on the Movie Reviewers 100. I wanted to talk about two films today, which I decided to review as sort of a compare and contrast type deal. And both originate from the same real-life person. Her name is Valerie Plame, and she was working for the CIA in Washington, D.C. In 2002 and 2003, when she was basically had her cover blown by people in the White House. There were two films that were directly inspired by this story. The first is Fair Game, which came out last fall. It was directed by Doug Liman, and it was adapted by nonfiction books written by both Valerie Plame and her husband Joe Wilson. The other one is Nothing But the Truth, which is a sort of basically takes the story of the agent with her cover blown and creates a whole new story out of it. This film was directed by Lurie and stars Vera Farmiga as the agent and Kate Beckinsale as the reporter who writes the story about it to begin with. Fair Game, by the way, stars Sean Penn and Naomi Watts as Joe Wilson and Valerie Plame. So, Fair Game was a movie that came out last fall, but I didn't see it, so I finally got around to seeing it yesterday. I like this film very much. It's done in the usual Doug Liman style, a lot of handheld and kind of a lot of misframing, a lot of sort of people caught just in the corners of the shots type deal that I'm not really a big fan of. But you know, the writing is strong and the acting is strong. It is basically just a dramatization of what happened with Valerie Plame once, as she was trying to extract safely a number of Iraqi nuclear scientists from Iraq, you know, and get them to the U.S. where they would be safe, away from the Saddam Hussein regime. But her efforts to do so are compromised by the fact that when her husband goes on a fact-finding mission to Niger as a former ambassador, he is basically investigating the possibility that Saddam Hussein's regime purchased yellow cake uranium for the creation of nuclear weapons, and also aluminum cylinders in order to help make a centrifuge for building the weapons, that kind of thing. And what he found out is that none of this actually happened. The the cylinders were the wrong type to be used in a nuclear centrifuge, and that no one could have made such a huge purchase of yellow cake uranium, enriched uranium, without people in Niger noticing, because nothing happens in Niger. You know, there's just not a lot of things going on there, and huge trucks full of, you know, enriched uranium, you know, a big convoy would be noticed by lots of people. So he comes back and he reports on this, but then of course the Bush administration goes on television in the State of Union address and says that that's exactly what Saddam Hussein did, and so he's building nuclear weapons, so we need to go to war, we need to invade Iraq. So once this happens, he decides to write a little piece for a publication explaining why George Bush is not telling the truth, and why we shouldn't be going to war, because, you know, Saddam Hussein is not a nuclear threat, and in retaliation, they out his wife as a CIA agent, which means that her cover is blown and all her missions are compromised, including getting the Iraqi scientists safely out of Iraq. Not to mention the fact that they've been exposed. She's been exposed, and for all of her lies, she basically has told everyone that she's an investment when that's not the truth. Yeah, things just go to hell from there. You know, they get threats, they get harassed constantly. The agency basically just, you know, boots her out because she's no good to them anymore, because she can't do her job, the job that she's been doing very well for such a long time. Now, Nothing But the Truth is a very different story. It focuses more on the person who writes the article. Again, this takes basically the scenario of a CIA agent being outed, but creates a whole new story to go along with it. As it begins, Kate Beckinsale, the reporter, basically the journalist, has done some research and gotten a source to talk about Vera Farmiga, who is the mother of a child at the school that Kate Beckinsale's own daughter goes to, so she knows her personally. She asked for comment from her, and she, says she doesn't know what she's talking about. Of course, I'm not a CIA agent, but she has a credible source, and so she publishes the story anyway, at which point she is arrested. And when she refused to give up her source, because she doesn't reveal sources, she's thrown in jail for over a year, and still won't give up the name. Matt Dillon is the prosecutor. Angela Bassett plays Kate Beckinsale's editor. Alda plays her lawyer, and David Schwimmer plays her husband. And so she's basically, rotting in prison without having gone to trial just because she won't reveal this name. They're like saying, this is a matter of national security. We need to know who told you, who revealed this information about the CIA operative. And she just won't give it up. Now, if you're familiar with Rod Lurie's films, he did The Last Castle with Robert Redford, and he did a film in 2000 called The Contender with Joan Allen as the person who is appointed by the president, Jeff Bridges, to replace the vice president who had died suddenly while they were in office. And her personal life comes under scrutiny. Now, in both of these films, both of these Rod Lurie films, there's the question of whether the main character, Joan Allen in The Contender or Kate Beckinsale in Nothing But the Truth, will reveal this key piece of information. They want Joan Allen to talk about her personal life, just if only to deny it. And she won't do it on principle because it's a personal question and it's nobody's business, especially not, American voters. It's got nothing to do with whether or not she make a good vice president or not, but they keep hammering away at her. And the same thing happens with Kate Beckinsale. Who's your source? Who's your source? And she just won't give it up on principle. She's protecting her source from retaliation, so she takes the brunt of the abuse herself. And it's a pretty harrowing story, actually. I like both films, but I like Nothing But the Truth better. I think it's a stronger picture, and I like the way it ends better. Of course, I can't describe the key difference between the two films as far as the resolution goes, because I'd be giving away the ending. But Nothing But the Truth is a very, very good film. It was in my top 5 of 2009. I enjoy it quite a bit. And I like Fair Game a lot too, although not as much. Fair Game's a very decent movie. It's got really good acting in it. Great cast. But I didn't see it as anything more than simply a dramatization of what happened, which is a good story to tell. Whereas Nothing But the Truth creates a whole new story out of the inspiration of a real life event, and I just found that movie to be more compelling. I mean, they were both compelling, but Nothing But the Truth I liked a little bit better. I do have to say, though, Fair Game has an awesome thing they do with the end credits. Really, really terrific thing that they do with the end credits there. So I recommend them both. They're terrific. And The Contender as well. It's a very decent movie. Got lots of good acting in it. Gary Oldman is in it as well, and he's really great. Just wanted to, I finally got caught up with that Fair Game, and I wanted to talk about them both because of their source of inspiration. So thanks very much for watching, and of course, as usual, we have movie reviews from guys in this channel all week long, so please tune into them as well. Thanks very much. See ya.